Well, a new toy just picked up. Guy drove it off the trailer. Yeah, I could say it's loud with that exhaust. Let's you guys see this. Yeah, model HT-23. So that's a 23 horsepower Kohler engine and power steering. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, a little bit sloppy and loose in the front end, but that's to be expected with its age. It's by looking at the fact that the Bolens is in white there, means 85 to 87, I believe. A giant tiller, and not so big of a snowblower, and a mower deck that weighs so much that I don't want to try moving it ever again. He thought this was a 60-inch, but hard to say. Everything shaft drive. But started up and drove off the trailer, so definitely needs to be gone through. The power steering, he says, wanders a little bit, pulls to one side. And I'll probably look at it more tomorrow. But yeah, she is a heavy tractor, that's for sure. Well, she runs, she drives. The power steering turns to one side, kicks back, but I'm not going to run her long. You guys see some fluffy stuff starting to come out of there. And she is very caked in oil. You smell it, let's just say. Really bad. But we'll see if it's going to hold air in all the tires overnight. Very loud, so I can't run it. It's getting a little bit late into the flashlight. So 23 horsepower. I think she's starting to run a little lean. You guys can maybe see the smell or the smoke burning off in there. Definitely running hot. I bet you these fins here are all covered with a mouse nest. So she'll need to be taken apart, a wash done to her, at least before I run her any longer than like 5-10 minutes at a time. But yeah, she's definitely needs a, you could say, a general check over. So, that touching the spark plug wire there is going to wear through sooner or later. It's going to the choke. But overall, it does run and drive. I tried to rear PTO for a few seconds and dug a little bit in that pile there. So that seems to be fine. But tomorrow I got a load of junk coming. Soil. So I definitely need to move some stuff before then, so I could get everything dumped off. But yeah, I don't see any signs of any axle seal leaking. Inside of the rims look nice and clean, so that's a bonus. The guy says when he bought it, the high-low lever was broken. He said somewhere under here he had to weld the linkage on it or something, so not too big of a deal. But yeah, this might not look like it, but I should have actually parked it beside those guys. It's definitely a lot bigger than a Sears. Whew. I got one hell of a thunderstorm last night. Water went down here. But going to get some degreaser and degrease it. I wonder if it's going to even start today. Oh wait, does that seat actually have holes to drain the water out of it? Nah, it doesn't. What's going on here? Okay, that just sits there. Ooh, that's very runny. Looks like he just has engine oil in there. I don't know if he has had trouble with the dipstick popping up. Nah, he probably just wanted to put a lift kit. So, now, yeah, I'm going to have to grab a cloth. I'm going to wipe that off. I don't trust starting this thing when I'm not sitting on it, because not yet anyway, but I'm going to see if she's going to start. So, oh my god. I guess Lily Ann never got the memo that I wanted her to move all those fire logs before they got wet. Yeah. Not going to be using those no more. Yeah. Cleaned out the motorhome. Oh god. All the cushions from the motorhome. They stayed dry. But, yeah. I think I need to do a little bit of a dump run this week. But yeah, give me a second to find something to wipe that seat dry, and then I'm going to see if she fires up. Again, one hell of a storm last night. Well, it sounds like some people are doing some storm damage removals in the background there somewhere. Okay, so everything's nice and greasable. It looks like the tiller did drop. So it doesn't look like it's actually that rusty. This is just surface rust. This just blew off by the looks of it. I never found anything to wipe that off, but oh, yeah, it's a little wet. Okay, choke on. I don't think the hour gauge is working, or she spun over. Okay, there's the brake, there's everything, auxiliary, neutral, safety, I don't know what works. Like I said, the power steering here tends to wander a bit, so I don't want to put my hands in there, but we'll see. Oh, look at that. See what I mean about the power steering? Yeah, but she fired right up. But yeah, power steering is, cylinder's probably shot. Really pulls the steering out of my hands when I lift that. Smells like very old fuel in her. Guy claims he did his driveway with her, but, or not driveway, but his garden. See, now the steering's not that bad. But hydrostatic controls seem to be pretty good, so. Not much gas in her. Makes sense, the guy's going to use it as much as he could before he brought it. Again, I don't want to run her too much. It looks like the amp gauge is actually working on her. Maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty broken up. Hard to drive with one hand with her pulling the way she does. I mean, if I go in a direction that I only got to turn one way, I guess it's not bad. Gravel being delivered in the next 45 minutes. choke works enough to stall her. So yeah, this thing doesn't really need hydraulic steering, so I might disable that. The blade stayed up without having to lift them up again, but got a couple sticks and a couple pieces of landscaping fabric stuck in there. Yeah, definitely needs to be checked over. It's missing the cotter pins for the pins to hold the flapper on. But I think she started right up this morning. But she definitely smells like she's running warm. I can just smell the heat coming off her. And you can see a little bit of smoke coming out of her, but that's from the exhaust. But you can see the paint's burnt off. And I'm kind of thinking that's why she's running a little lean. You can unbolt these, by the way. And you can actually flip it where it goes straight up, if I wanted to. And yeah, this little dash piece here is kind of screwed up. But looks like all the wiring is still physically hooked up in here, so that's kind of a good thing. But I do got to go over her a little bit more. Yeah, I see lots of shit burning off in there. I don't know how long it's been sitting, but the guy claims he owned it for about 7 years. The only reason he's selling it is he's moving, I think he said South America he's moving, so that's the only reason why he sold it. Otherwise, he would have kept it. It took him a long time to find it. But yeah, I'm actually surprised she started up pretty easy. Now, I'm sure she's going to have some good oil leaks and a bunch of other issues. So I see one set of wires that are disconnected in there. Yeah, she definitely has to be gone through. I don't know if I can find a replacement top of the dash here. It's probably going to be like the Sears where they're just not possible to get. But I'm pretty sure I can make that out of metal. But yeah, engine oil pressure light. Hydraulic trans temperature. I'm going to hold this sideways here. The white and the yellow are lined up. And the red one is at like 180. I don't know if that means 180 hours on her. Yeah, it is hooked up. The wires are going into the wiring harness, so gotta open this up here. Sounds like she's running fairly lean, you could say, like hot, but it also smells at the same time like it's running rich. So definitely need to do some checking out on her. I haven't looked underneath her skirts yet. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell's this? Okay, that doesn't move. That's just for your feet, I guess. Put that in. It is an ultra wide. Oh, good, she has the fan on her. I don't see any signs of anything leaking down here. Still has their 3 belts on her. That looks like a newer oil filter. The oil is nice and clean on her. So this engine is a K582S Kohler, 23 horse. So, and to be honest, looking at her, it actually doesn't look like anyone has really touched her. I mean, it looks pretty original. Okay, gas level is very low. Top of the gauge is broken, float's gone on her. Yeah, but she's right at the bottom for fuel. Headlights work. I tried those last night. This battery here is 2015, I guess that would probably be. So a little bit of an older battery. I think she's running the original fuel pump. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's a lot of stuff I got to learn about this guy, but yeah, She, in my opinion, doesn't really need power steering. So I might do a power steering delete on her. Not too sure yet. So I just have to extend the one linkage, I guess. So, okay, I see. There's a little boot under here, and this is the control valve, I guess, under this portion of it that steers it. I know there was some kind of way of adjusting them, but in my opinion, I think the cylinder's bypassing, constantly leaking, and that's what the issue is with that. Is this just for the snowblower? Yeah, it's probably for the chute control. Looks like the front nose cone there might be a little loose, hard to say, but fuel filter in there. Looks pretty dirty, due to be changed. But I don't want to run her much longer until I wash that engine, take off the fins, make sure there's no mouse houses happening in it. But some nice wheel weights on her, that's for sure. But overall, I definitely paid more than most people would have paid for it. I paid more than I paid for the Toyota Land Cruiser. But the way it works out is that I sold those Honda Odysseys, and I was able to buy this guy with the money from selling the Honda Odysseys, and I was also able to buy the gravel that's coming with the money from selling the Honda Odysseys. So that gives you an idea what I paid. It works out to, I guess, a fair bit. Most I have ever spent on a tractor, you could say. Okay, so one other thing I noticed here is this is a Bolens sticker on top of a Bolens sticker, and then it has a plastic or a black chunk here. So is that something when they came to the Canadian market they did? Also, that red line is just someone painted that on, but you see this? Am I going to find old style decal underneath that one? Because this style with the white around here is normally 85 to 87. But yeah, it's in pieces. You can see, but it has the power steering. So power steering is normally the S models, I believe they were called. But I still got to look it up. It could be a mutt mix. But I'm not too worried about it. Anyone know where the VIN numbers are on these guys? I want to try to find the exact year of it, but I don't think there's an oil cooler on this one. This one, mind you. So, okay, well, gotta do a little more research. And thought I'd do a little size comparison. Back tires are pretty much lined up. You can see she's quite a bit longer, and well, I'm going to say about 6 inches wider on the front, maybe a foot on the back. Yeah, quite a bit taller. The seating position, I like the steering wheel design on that. It's funny, the power steering seems like it's getting better every time I start it. I still got to figure out how the steering assist cylinder works here. I thought there was a control valve under that bolt. As the bolt moves, the boot's ripped on the other side, but I don't know, I'll lube it up, but chances are that cylinder would have to be rebuilt, and then I'll probably never find anyone to rebuild it, so probably have to retrofit something different in there, but yeah, that's where she's going to sit for now. Well, I just measured that guy. It's pretty much 70 inches if you count that guy there, so to shoot on it, but very thick steel, so that's going to last quite a long time, I bet. Yeah, I just gave it a quick measure, and that guy's, what did I just measure it as, 42. So needs a little bit of TLC, but just about to check and make sure she's charging. And I was looking up the different wheelbases, and yeah, she's wheelbase is like 52 inches online, and I think a Sears was like, what was it, 42? So yeah, I don't know what size this tiller is, but I want to see how wide she is and figure out a few things on her. I just drove her around a little bit. Realized this is all brazed up before. So, that must have been one hell of an accident. And I could explain why it has a different hood on it. Because from what I can understanding that the fact that FMC is written on here. This is the older Bolens label here. And this is the newer one here. And that's the newer one, but you can also see that there's a sticker on top of a sticker. So is that something the dealership would have did back in the day? Hard to say. I mean, someone could have just wanted to do it, but you can actually see where the new sticker went right over top the old sticker. She's definitely running a little cookie, a little warm. Front tires seem to be holding air. They have tubes in them, but there's plugs everywhere. I'm not sure if that's showing up there. This one has plugs in the sidewalls. But I mean, for now it's probably fine. But yeah, she's definitely a wide enough tractor. And looking at everything, I'm pretty sure that if I was to run a snowblower, I would have no choice but to run the big one. The big dual stage right there. Because otherwise it's going to track funny, as in you would be driving and it would literally be leaving a gap on the sides where the tires hit the snow. That's the other Bolens mower deck I have there. So that one there is probably not going to fit this guy, but I'm thinking between the two of them might be able to do something. But I'm hoping the snowblower is going to fit. That's my idea. Uh-oh. What is that plane doing up there? That's the same guy that crashed on my street? Nah, probably not, hey? Oh, that's not bad. Seen it storm last night, barely sunk in. Spun the tires a little bit leaving there. But yeah, that's not the stuff I ordered. I wish they would have told me before they dumped it, but it was $100 cheaper. This is the same stuff that's here. The reason why I got that is for pouring my footing. Originally I was just going to go post and ground blocks, you could say, but no, I'm just going to pour a complete cement footing. I mean, I bought the cement mixer, might as well use it. So I just looked up how this guy works. Water displacement 40. Under here, and I'm looking, the boot's broken. So, a little dirty in there. I'm going to probably pull this rubber right over, like that. Oh, look at the rust in there. You see the rust? And I'm going to spray the shit out of it in here. And it doesn't really look like that's moving at all. And see if that loosens up, because basically there's a piston in here. And that might fix my steering issue, because the guy claims that it wasn't like that before. It's just from sitting. But I drove it around for quite some time and never loosened up anything, so probably have to spray this like 5-6 times. Don't know if it'll follow the pin around. Probably have to spray upright. Let that soak for a bit. But I'm thinking that's probably pretty seized, because it's not. Oh yeah, I see it's moving one way but not the other way. Okay, give that a couple good squirts, and that might be all it is. Might have to take out the persuader and grease her up some more, but I'm going to get some heavy duty degreaser and degrease that engine later on today. I'll pull off those covers, but my pressure washer holes for the diesel pressure washer is full of sand from sitting. Yeah, I left it sitting outside, and I mean, I could probably knock it out, but yeah, I could probably pick that out and take off the tip and get that to go through, but I think I might buy another hose. That's just a shitty hose anyway. The old water sandblasting kit that works freaking awesome. But yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to break free. I'll have to let it sit for a bit and find out. Okay, so pulled off the rubber there. You can see how it moves in one direction fine. If you can see that. So that's why it turns to that, but you go back the other way and it doesn't quite move yet. But that's way better than it was. So I guess this thing's always meant to have a fair bit of play in the steering, because you got to have that much of a, like that much play before it actually turns the cylinder. It's either that or there's a return spring maybe broken in it. Maybe there's meant to be like a heavy return spring. But going back the other way, I don't see any movement. I might have put a block of wood on it and give it a couple taps. Definitely it's better. It's not pulling as hard as it did before. But like right now I can hold it with one finger, but I let go, it still does it. Just need to be driven for a bit. Having it pulling like that you think would break it loose after a while, but it definitely releases pressure when I start pulling on it. Doesn't sound the best when it pulls at the end, so but yeah, I'll let that soak for a bit. I don't want to break anything. I'll probably have to take off the pivot bar. You can see it goes into the bottom of the cylinder. I probably got to pull that bolt out and maybe take the whole thing off and tap it. It's either that or, you know, bring it in. Maybe it's bypassing in one direction. Hard to say, but that valve you think would move both directions, and it's not. Now, I mean, it might be standard, a lot of the parts in there, but I doubt it. It's a pretty neat system now that I see how it works, that's for sure. Well, that kind of makes it a bit better. Now it doesn't wander, just wedging. I wonder if there's meant to be rubber in between those. It needs to be a little bit bigger because it still kind of turns sometimes. Gives you power assist in one direction kind of, so but yeah, if I remove that it'll just slam to one side. But that makes it drivable at least. Just drive it around like that for a few seconds. Wow, that is interesting. So it worked pretty good, but I blew the cap open. I guess she's self-lubing. Yeah, and that was locked down all the way, I believe. Yeah, definitely I had that locked down on the way. Got a little speckle on my shoe. But crankcase breather, no blow-by came out, just air. Yeah, I have to pull this off. Who knows when the last time the filter was checked. I don't even know where the breather line would be on here. So, but definitely she is pretty covered, so. Yep, but that's not good. So yeah, it's usable just by putting a block in there. So that's something to keep in mind. But before I do anything like that, I am going to do a little bit more research. So we'll see. It might free up after time. You never know. Well, I just finished giving her a good degrease. Steering still pulls to one side, but I'm not worried about that. It definitely puts a draw on the pump. But I just gave her a good shot of degreasing. She runs good. Hard to show you, but this is all broken apart big time. So I'll have to do something with that.
She's pretty waterproof, original sparkwood wires, so. No cruise control on this model, that kind of sucks. So, but tiller works good. Everything seems to be good on her. Besides the power steering pulling. But I'm pretty sure if I take that cylinder apart, I might be able to do something myself on it. I'll have to see.
Yeah, last time when I used to shut her off, the smoke would just come out of her like freaking crazy here. So now I'm going to, oh yeah, actually no, there's still some smoke coming out of her, but I gotta double check that she's not just spewing oil everywhere in there. Any gas leaking in there? You guys see any leaks? I don't. I'll look better off camera. Well, the tiller worked. Just went and broke this up around here so I can shovel this out nicely. Started right up. Everything worked good on her. Added some seafoam to her, so yeah, everything seems to be good. Let her run for quite some time. Don't see anything leaking, so that's a good bonus. But yeah, so far so good.